and you'll get to see kind of what we're doing. Yes, so not certified organic, but obviously follow organic practices. I guess that's the best way to put it. And go ahead. You guys.
Oh yeah. So and then I was on your website, and it said that your farm started with help from grants. Is the farm still currently receiving help from grants or any kind of support from local, state, or federal programs?
Started with grants. I'm trying to think. I have to go back to the website and look at it. It's relatively new. I can't say I looked at it that closely. So, my father-in-law bought the place in the early 60s because he had horses, and so he wanted a place to keep horses. And so I'll just do a little bit of the history, obviously.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
And my husband started here, so he was 14 when they moved here, and he got cows right away, so he's always had cows since he was 14, so in 1964. And so he had cows, different types. He had Angus at one point, then he had Herefords, so those are both beef breeds. But then at some point he got into raising replacement heifers for dairy farms. I grew up on a dairy farm in North Kingstown. That's how we met. And so he would go to different farms as the milk tester. It was Dairy Herd Improvement Association hired him, and he basically took milk samples, and he could basically tell the farmer, this cow needs to have more grain, this cow needs to get shipped, whatever, that kind of thing. So but even growing up with our kids, we didn't eat our own cows. We raised them, but we always took them off to auction because we didn't know that there was any infrastructure to have them processed or what you could do and so forth. So a bunch of farmers eventually got together in the 90s, probably, now that I look at it, and started to talk about could we do more local processing and sell our meat instead of taking it to auction, which is kind of a loss of it all. So it was this working together with other farmers, in particular the Mintos from Watson Farm, who were very interested in being able to sell from the farm. And so we did an awful lot of organizing as far as talking to the Department of Health and the Division of Ag as far as getting licensed to sell from the farm. And I think I was one of the first places to open a shop, have it inspected. We had to work out a memorandum of understanding between the Department of Health and the Division of Ag, so the Division of Ag could inspect it and say, yes, it's good enough to do this. And so this was a big deal. And the Department of Health
selling it out the farm.
Out of the farm, right. The Department of Health stipulation was it had to be done in a USDA facility, USDA inspected facility, and it had to be frozen. Like you wouldn't allow fresh meats being sold, which I have people come in that won't even look at it because it's not fresh. And it's like, yeah, this was fresh frozen. How old do you think that meat is in the grocery store?
Pretty old, I'm assuming,
Yeah. So that was the start. We opened basically in 2008. And so I don't think there was grant money in that, but I have to back up a little bit. We did inherit the farm when George's dad died and started to do more and more. I eventually got goats. We still had the cows, and then looking ahead to what we could do with this, I had a son and daughter-in-law that were here, and they were very interested in raising animals too, so they started to do pigs and meat birds, and so that we kind of had the whole, all the livestock protein covered, I guess is what you'd say.
Yeah.
But in 2007, we were able to sell the development rights on the farm, which was a big deal to me because the farm I grew up on, we sold, and it's now all houses, and that was heartbreaking. And so it's important to me that this is preserved as agricultural land forever, and it should be, not just because it's so picturesque, but because it has prime agricultural soils.
Exactly.
And that's what should happen. And it's nice to know that there are the 4 farms. We have us, Hotchkiss, Watson, and the Dutra farm, and all of them are preserved one way or the other. So all 4 will stay as agriculture, and then you got the marsh that's preserved and the golf course that should stay a golf course, and so it's nice to have this big green space in the middle of the island.
Yeah, I heard you mention the Dutra farm. A kid in my school freshman year.
Joey.
Yeah.
Now he's homeschooling.
Yeah.
Because his helicopter parent, I think he's better at home. I saw him on Saturday.
Really?
He's an awkward kid. So, you're not recording that, right?
No.
Yes, Joey Jr. He does on his farm now, but
I was gonna do them too, but I just never seen anyone over there, so I just.
And you won't. And all they're doing now, he was a dairy farm, much like the one I grew up on, with 50 milkers and 100 head all together, grazed and corn silage and stuff like that. And I have a lot of respect for that. And one of the initial farms in Rhodey Fresh, but they sold all the animals a number of years ago, and now they only make hay, which is good because there's a demand for that too. So we've bought quite a bit of their hay, and he sells to a lot of people, sells to a lot of horses. So he does both round bales, wrap bales, and square bales. So anyway, so back to the grant stuff, and so yes, we do a lot of programs through NRCS, which is Natural Resource Soil Conservation. Yes, conservation of soils, which is a federal funded USDA that basically ensures that you're not impacting the environment in a detrimental way.
Yeah.
And so a lot of, I can show you that as we walk around, the projects that we've done has been funded through that. It's not outright money they give to you. You have to match it. So usually it's 50-50, and so, or 25-75, I guess is more like what it is. So you can count your labor as your 25% contribution, and they can give you the money. So like for fencing,